Mark Rob, did you catch our swerve a few weeks ago when we were talking real nice about Vince at the end, and then we sounded like we were going to put Vince in the hole?
We almost were. It almost looked like,
and then he was like, nah.
Never. He's going to be the president of the Hall of Shame, and then when he goes to the upper room or the bottom room in this case,
no, that man in the basement, nigga.
He is going to be resting in the warmest of this.
The warmest.
That man is having a bashment party, dog. You know
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, man. Well, speaking of resting, but hopefully not in piss.
Transition.
You know, we got to do it. We got to talk Big Scott Hall, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scott Hall unfortunately passed away after complications from hip surgery. Is that right?
Yeah. Of all things, fucking things, man.
Had 3 heart attacks and still didn't tap out immediately. Kicked out after 2, but eventually the third and final count comes for us all, and it came for Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon, this week.
And he put death over after a long fucking battle, man.
Of course he did.
Because he's Scott Hall. He's Scott fucking Hall. He puts everybody over.
We've talked about on this show about how many people he put over clean as a sheet.
Clean as a fucking sheet, man.
And he
Chris
still
Jericho.
was a superstar.
Yeah. Like one story that always comes to mind is he and Chris Jericho. Jericho, I think it was in Manitoba, and this was before, like, I don't know, maybe he was always a piece of shit, but speaking of resting in piss,
oh yeah, he's definitely resting in piss one day.
That man is Pine Box. Yeah, he he was in the town, and he had absolutely no reason other than to build a star. Said, hey kid, you when was the last time you wrestled here? He said, it's been years. And he said, we're going over tonight. And he made that decision. He made that call. Ended up making Chris Jericho a big fucking star. Who knew? And
Scott Hall knew.
Yeah. And Bischoff was pissed. But Bischoff lacked vision. Even at that time is putting people in black t-shirts, and that was
everybody in black t-shirts.
That was his one trick.
Well, he put everyone in fucking black.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody, every fucking body got a black t-shirt after a while, and it was like, all right, well then this shit ain't dope. But anyway,
Disco Inferno was an NWO, guys.
Jesus.
Oh my god!
Talk about rest and piss, man. This is. Oh my god!
Is Disco Inferno a wrestling piss candidate,
sucks, bro? Disco sucks.
So is this purely because he sucks?
He's
in the ring or in life?
His opinions suck.
Oh, I'm not familiar with his opinions. Yeah. I haven't thought about him other than.
Well, good for you, man. Good for fucking you.
Good for me as well.
Somebody always seems to somehow I always stumble over a Disco Inferno opinion, and it's always trash. It's always. I think he was one of the fuck boys that was like mad that Becky Lynch was calling herself the man. So there's always that. I was like, oh, you don't get it. You were never a top guy, so you wouldn't get it.
Never. I hope you tweeted that at him too.
I might have.
I hope so.
Know. I don't think. Anyway, Scott Hall. Fuck Disco Inferno. Okay? Fuck him. God.
With a capital F.
With a capital fuck him.
Well, we've made our new inductee into the Hall of Shame. So there you go.
Yeah, he in there. But Scott, man, apart from talking about putting people over, before I swear it was like 2 weeks ago, before he was even in any peril. Like we had been. Thank you. Nice. Somebody was I know people were like reviewing the ladder match because it's WrestleMania season and you can't talk about WrestleMania obviously without Shawn Michaels. Hey guys, all right, bye. But can't talk about it without Shawn Michaels. You can't talk about Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania without talking about the ladder match. And there were people who were saying like, Sean could have done that match with a broom and it would have been, kind of the same work. And I was like, yeah, Sean was Sean was the star. All right. Sean was, he was a star. He, cemented his star, but
he needed the right counterpart.
Yeah, bro. Like Scott was, even with Scott going over, he still puts Sean over.
Yeah.
even in him going over, he still put Sean over. But, he wasn't a fucking mark like so many other people. It was like, oh, why, they asked Kevin Nash, why do you think Scott Hall never won the world title? Because he didn't give a fuck about the world title. He wanted you to cut the check. That's it. He wanted to cut the check. He didn't care if he won or if he lost, if he had a belt, if he didn't. He loved the business and he loved getting paid.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like, I don't know, my history's a little fuzzy, but I don't know who he left first, I know, and went to WCW, right? Mm-hmm. Right. And then Nash was right after him, but I feel like they had both announced they were leaving the company kind of together because, of course, the curtain call happened at MSG in 95. So I kind of feel like that would have been a Scott Hall move. He's probably like, hey, you want Ted Turner's trying to pay us all this money, come down there and wrestle so many times a year and we get creative control, Big Kev.
So it's pretty much verbatim that. Only the thing was, he's so fucking smart. He was like, look, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna get signed. He basically made them niggas pay him for a referral fee. Basically made them pay him. Yeah, the finesse god. He basically was like, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna sign this contract, I'm gonna get this bread. Told him how much he was making and how many days he was working. He's like, shit, fuck that. He's like, I'm gonna set you up to come in, but I'm gonna like be on some old, you're already here, essentially. But he was like, yo, I'm gonna just tell them niggas that you ain't coming if you don't get paid this much, and I'm not gonna call if they don't pay me this much more for calling you. And he's like, and they was niggas bit, and I mean it worked. It was like obviously right, so yeah, I mean that's that part of it. There's the disgusting shit. Oh no, go ahead.
No. Oh yeah, I mean there's disgusting shit, but I was just gonna say so many people think about Hogan's heel turn when it comes to NWO or of course like later years Nash and a finger poke of doom. And I know that Hall had a lot of issues, like especially after like a year or two in WCW and the drinking, everything, and he wasn't around because he literally had a problem, but he could sit at home and get paid. But he was in the middle of some of the biggest things that happened in wrestling history. Yeah. And he was never the main guy.
He was never the main guy and didn't care to be.
Didn't care to be. I just wanted to get that in there though.
Well, I was saying like the before we get to the other thing, the disgusting thing that there's a wrestling Deadpool. I don't know if everybody's aware of it, but the betting that of which wrestler will die next, like there's somewhere out there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's true.
And I don't even know if people are like betting, but it's just like a thing that it's like who gonna die next. And so, for a long time, Scott was on that list and he got help from, Dally. Shout out to the Hall of Famer.
Shout out to the first Hall of Famer.
Shout out to the first Hall of Famer for being Hall of Fame friend. It's looking to get his friends clean and moving them into his home and getting them in, like, for them to be like, yo, I need the accountability, dog. Like, I really want to stay clean. Or like when, was it NWO that got inducted into the second most important Hall of Fame in pro wrestling?
Yeah.
That other one over there. Scott was like, I have to stay clean. And if I go to this show, I am not going to stay clean. Yeah. So y'all niggas have fun. So that was, and then for this to be the thing, it's like it truly was his time.
And you love to see it, because not to see him die, obviously, but to see him overcome so much stuff. And literally I'll see an ESPN clip like years ago, like 5, 7, 8 years ago, where he's just so drunk in the ring. And literally the dude, like they could have titled it Scott Hall Waiting to Die. And that's exactly what it looked like.
Basically what it was, man.
Yeah. And for him to be able to get clean, get his life together, be able to do the things he got to do, make the appearances he got to make, and then ultimately
See his son wrestle.
see his son wrestle.
And his advice for his son was like, put people over. It was like, fuck, man.
Absolutely, Cody Hall, man.
Guy, man. Quickly to address some bad shit,
No.
Well, before we pivot,
okay.
As the resident nostalgia
For sure.
expert of the Rasslecast Power Hour, before we do pivot into the darkness, I'll throw out just one little bit of light. I kind of already talked about a long time ago how Kevin Nash, one of my favorite wrestlers ever,
Yes, you
but
did.
then him joining, WCW and then forming the Outsiders, and then them basically elevating two wrestlers, taking the reins and elevating an entire company and dragging a Hall of Famer with them along the way, kicking and screaming. Like that's
was definitely screaming in those old promos. And they were just like, oh God.
Yeah, and you can tell the difference whenever Scott cut a promo, Kevin cut a promo, and then when the Hulkster cut a promo, like we knew who were the real businesses and who were the real pillars of NWO.
Yeah.
And I legit don't think, I mean, obviously you have, in the history to where like Hulkamania, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Dragon, Andre the Giant.
Andre the Dragon. That's a new nickname.
That's pretty fire though. That is.
Andre the Dragon.
AKA Andre the Dragon.
I know. I had a Freudian slip. But you obviously had those kind of pillars in the 80s and they, cemented wrestling to be pop culture. But what Nash and Scott Hall did, they turned around WCW, man, from just a mid-tier, wrestling company to, we're going to have the Monday Night Wars and they're the ones
that had a ton of talent too and just didn't, you know what I mean? Just someone couldn't
no
break.
Flavor. No flavor.
Ton of talent.
That's exactly it. They had no seasoning. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. And so as much as I love like the cruiserweight division of WCW and like that being my favorite shit.
Shout out to Mike Tenay with endless knowledge of every cruiserweight, man.
No kidding, man. He's like, I was in Mexico when
his mama had him. He flipped out of the womb. Like, damn, Mike Tenay know everything, dog.
Mike Tenay knows his stuff.
Mike Tenay knows his stuff too well, nigga.
Yeah, he
does.
does.
Like, all right, Mike.
Shout out to Mike Tenay, man.
Mike Tenay.
That's funny. But yeah, man, like they had the talent and they had the skill, but if you don't got the swag, that shit don't mean nothing, especially in wrestling. So I just wanted to give the quick shout out. Like I said, we'll give them the last bit of light until, we have to do the pivot, but I just wanted to shout out, their contribution to WCW and wrestling overall.
Yeah.
Sure. And I mean, the pivot, like I said, the man's dead and gone. So I quickly just wanted to, there's probably 0.1% of our audience screaming at their phone or their listening device. But what about the fucking plane ride from hell? Y'all
or
giving this nigga's flowers. Yeah, YouTube. Y'all giving this nigga's flowers. He's a fucking, the accusations.
He's a monster. Yeah.
Right. The accusations were made.
We don't shy away.
Yeah, we don't shy away from that. And if you're upset by that, by this love fest here, I get it. But here's how I rationalize. Normally, when somebody is accused of doing those things, and normally when we kind of tend to believe that they've done those things in the court of public opinion, they're like multiple accusations. Not to say like, somebody had to corroborate this story. It's just that nobody has. And that nobody has like a separate incident where it was like, there is no Me Too in that situation so far. I don't know. And for everything else to be for everything else to be so like sparkling, other than his own personal demons that he's never shied away from, that nobody's ever like shied away from talking about, like that kind of thing never came up until that Plane Ride from Hell documentary,
Dark Side of the Ring.
Dark Side of the Ring. And while I don't have any reason to believe that this woman is making anything up, and I don't know her name, quite honestly, I really don't care to, name a victim or potential victim.
Absolutely not.
It's kind of dicey. And so normally, again, like the goal of criminal justice is to, be innocent until proven guilty. You can hear something in public opinion and, you already make I'm not there yet. I'm just not there personally. Y'all know me. I'm quick to, I'll believe women. I don't, but in this thing, there's not a whole lot of things that are congruent with that as well. You talked to me about Rick being in that episode. Hey, dog, Rick did that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
His Flair he gonna go there too.
Yep.
We should call him Rip Flair because he gonna rest and piss. All right?
The warmest.
Oh man, he gonna have some. It's gonna be some. The piss is almost gonna evaporate. How warm it's gonna be. It's gonna be rest and boiling piss.
Woo.
For Rick, man. But yeah, man. But anyway, bro. Yeah, rest in peace. Rest in power.
Rest in power, Razor.
To Scott Hall. I can't see my shirt right now, but I am wearing a Scarface parody of Razor Ramon, which obviously he was. And of course the my favorite Scott Hall moment. Damn all the NWO stuff. Damn the, coming back and the selling the stunner and all that. Damn the ladder match. When he sat in the hood with them kids with the fuchsia pants on, all them chains with them black kids, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Open locker.
That's it. But yeah.
Somebody tried to say one of those kids was Rick Ross on Twitter.
That's hilarious.
Like, one of those is a young William.
Hilarious.
I'm like, no, it's not. Whatever.
Shut up, man.
Also,
because he would have rapped about that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh no, punch with Razor Ramon. Huh?
I'd have to say that this is the first wrestling death here in recent memory that's really gotten a lot of outside of like the normal wrestling fans response. I feel like a lot of people were like, damn, Razor's gone. A lot of damn Scott Hall.
That too.
Yeah. And that again shows how big of a mark he made in this business, even outside of those who don't give a shit about the business. I thought that was really cool because most of the time wrestlers pass and like me and you were like, oh, dag, man, he passed away and stuff. And you don't really get that.
Yeah, there's a lot of
outcry,
people. For sure. And a lot of people had memories from Scott. I mentioned in the first chapter of of the book that I'm still writing. The forthcoming book, that, I had no idea how to talk to women. So I emulated Razor Ramon, which is terrible. But
Did you have the toothpick?
Not the toothpick. I would have, but I definitely I did the slow bop with the hands in front and in the back. Like, it's like, oh, he's so fucking cool. But of course that's gotta kill.
Oh, shoot.
Kill, baby.
Baby.
Well, and we'll wrap it up with my guy.
He's your friend and my friend.
Your friend, my friend of the podcast, Bret the Hitman Hart, and his touching dedication to Scott Hall. Oh, it's Bret. I just got to clear my throat a little bit. I'm really bummed out. I wrote this on Instagram. I'm saddened to hear of the passing of Scott Hall, I wasn't very close with Scott in his later years, but upon reflection, I can flash back to many happy and fun memories of the days when he was my friend. I think Scott carried many heavy crosses long before I ever knew him. He was a good friend of Owen long before he became Razor Ramon. Wrestling life can be so much fun, and at the same time, it can take all that you have. I'll always remember Scott in better times with his cool, dry sense of humor while playing gently with my sons. We had many matches, and he was a hard worker. I loved my matches with him at Royal Rumble and at King of the Ring in '93. I fondly look back on so many terrific matches he had with Owen, Davey Boy, Sean Waltman, that's the 1-2-3 kid, and Shawn Michaels. We've lost so many wrestlers from my era, and this is just one more to that list. It's far too long. I won't blame any one thing, but I do believe that if the days of wrestling 300 days a year had been kinder and more considerate, if we could have been home with our loved ones more, many of my old friends and brothers would still be here. I think Scott would smile to know that so many people really loved him and will truly miss him. One more wrestler, a fine machine gone too soon. My thoughts and prayers go out to the family, friends, and loved ones. I'm out. All right. That was Brett, man.
That was real thoughtful of Brett, man.
That was awesome. That was awesome.